Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very first guest of today, of this week, is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Anne B. So I'm about to add Anne into the live now to have a chat with Anne about her incredible music. So yeah, let's add Anne in and have a chat with Anne. Hi Anne,
Hey,
how's it
how are
going?
you?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Good,
I
good.
just want
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to do this.
You're very welcome. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to come onto my show. It's actually such a pleasure having you on, by the way, Anne. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give it a bit of, if you can give a bit backstory about who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, for sure. So I am a singer-songwriter from originally from London, but I'm currently in my final year studying at university at the moment. And I started releasing music a year ago during the first lockdown. And so I put out an EP over summer, and I've just released a new single a few weeks ago, which is really exciting. And yeah, I'm excited for what's to come, and I'm excited for more sort of live stuff to open up in the UK to be able to gig more, because I guess I really missed that.
Awesome. So I'll dive right into the very first question. So for my very first question, so you have actually created this incredible EP song called Bleeding Heart. Like, what was like the whole experience like getting to create Bleeding Heart, and how did you come up with the idea of wanting to create Bleeding Heart in like the first place?
So that was actually the first song that I ever wrote and the first song that I released. And so that one came out in June in 2020. And it's kind of a story about a girl who's in a toxic relationship and doesn't feel like she's strong enough to break out of it. And so that was kind of the inspiration behind the song. And when it came out, it was at the point in the UK when domestic abuse cases are really high because of COVID. And so a portion of the proceeds for that song went to Women's Aid charity, which helped women and children experiencing domestic abuse. So that is kind of the backstory behind Bleeding Heart.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So you have also created this other incredible EP song called People Keep Telling Me. What was like the whole experience like getting to create this song, and like what's the whole meaning behind this song? Because it's such a fantastic song, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. So this is kind of, so the reason why I wrote the song is I was so fed up of going to like parties and having the first thing that people would always ask me was, oh, do you have a boyfriend? Oh, where's your boyfriend? And I found it so annoying that that was like the first thing people would say before saying like, how's music going or anything else. And so I kind of wanted to write a song about being confidently single and feeling comfortable in your own skin, and not like you need someone else to kind of define you. So that is what that song's about. But I feel like that song could kind of be about anything, you know, what people keep telling you, what society's telling you, and just kind of about doing your own thing. And I had such amazing messages from that song of people being like, this song makes me feel like a better person and really empowers me. And that's so amazing hearing that, because that's like the whole purpose of why I wanted to write the song.
So on to the very next question. So you have also created this other incredible song called Cold. So what was like the whole experience like getting to create this song? Like, what's the whole meaning behind Cold?
So this is such a weird story, but I was living last year in a student house in university with 7 people, and there were all these arguments, you know, going around like about the heating. So half of the house didn't want to ever turn the heating on because they didn't want to turn the heating on, and half the house did want to turn the heating on. And it was so cold. So I wrote this song. This was February last year, so it was like -5 degrees in the UK, and there were just all these arguments, and it was such a nightmare. And I remember one evening just being so fed up that it was so cold in the house. I actually remember waking up in the morning and breathing, and I could see the air in front of me because that's how cold it was. And I was so cross that my housemates didn't want the heating on. So I wrote a song called Cold. But I hope that from listening to the song, you wouldn't know it's about that. But that's the inspiration behind that song.
So on to the very next question. So you have also created this incredible EP called Wheel of Change. Like, what was like the whole experience like coming up with the idea of Wheel of Change, and like what's the whole meaning behind Wheel of Change?
So that was the EP that I put out over kind of summer, and it's got Bleeding Heart, People Keep Telling Me, Cold, and Roll the Dice. So it's got all those 4 songs, and it's kind of called Wheel of Change because each song represents like a different stage in a relationship and kind of demonstrates that nothing ever really stays the same. And so that's the inspiration behind Wheel of Change. So it was kind of my first time releasing music, and yeah, that's Wheel of Change.
Awesome. So on the very next question, so you have also created this other incredible EP song called Art of Not Falling Apart. So what was like the whole experience like getting to come up with the idea of creating this incredible song?
So this one is the most recent song that I released. So it came out like a few weeks ago. So it's really new. And this one, I had written the verses to this song about a year ago, and I couldn't finish it. And every time I kind of tried to finish it, I don't know why, but I just couldn't. And then I was in a writing session in London, and I just pulled it up on my computer, and I was co-writing with this really great artist and songwriter called Steve Overland, and we just kind of wrote it together. We finished it together, which is so funny because I literally tried to finish that song so many times, and I think once you have it in your mind that you can't finish it, then it's like a block. So that was how the song was finished, and it's almost like a fairy tale, a distorted fairy tale, and quite an ethereal song. And I wanted to write a song that wasn't about love, because I feel like so many songs are all about love. Most of the songs that that I write are, and most of the songs that I listen to are. So that was kind of the inspiration behind that one. But I almost feel like I want people to listen to that song and think what they think it means to them and how they can relate to it, as opposed to me kind of saying what it's about. But yeah, that's The Art of Not Falling Apart.
Awesome. Well, can I just say that I've actually had to listen to it this week, and I was like blown away of how incredible that song was. To people that haven't heard The Art of Not Falling Apart, definitely go check it out, hear it right now, because it's incredible. So yeah, you've done such an incredible job at making this new song. So I just want to applaud you on your job.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you liked it.
You're very welcome. So on to the very next question. So who inspired you as a person to get like into singing in the first place?
So I come from quite a musical family. My mum is a backing singer in a band here in the UK called Stax. And so I've grown up watching her perform at gigs and festivals, which has been really amazing and like a big inspiration. And my sister is also a singer-songwriter. And so that's really encouraged me to write music and to perform. And so those are kind of the two main influences and how I started. And then I sort of started writing music. I've been playing the guitar since I was like 11, but I started writing music when I was about 14, and then started writing my own songs and performing. So that's kind of how it all began.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So what does performing music mean to you as like an artist?
I think performing music is kind of about having a connection with your audience and people who are listening to you. And I feel like there's something very special about live performances that you don't get from streaming or from listening to a song. And it kind of brings something more personal. It's about sort of connecting and engaging with people, I think.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Oh my God. Okay. So I think that they would be probably Jennifer Lopez, number 1. I'm such a fan of her. I love her music. I find her so inspiring. I love what she stands for. So that would be one of them. Probably Dua Lipa. I love her Future Nostalgia album. And I think she's a great performer, and I love her brand. And the third one would probably have to be Billy Joel. I'm such a fan of like older music, and I love everything that he's ever created and released. So that would be, if that were possible, that would be like the dream of my life. That would be so cool.
Yes. So on to the very next question. So what have you learned about yourself, like as a person, like especially during COVID?
What have I learned about myself? Well, I mean, that was when we went into lockdown. That was when I started releasing music and planning a proper campaign, because I had all this time. So I guess I learned so much about distribution and promoting music, and you know, all the stuff that goes with it, like contacting radio, press, playlisters, creating a website, that kind of stuff. So that taught me a lot because I had lots of time, and I think it also probably taught me how I like to be busy and to do things. I hate having nothing to do, and so, you know, I learned, I kind of felt like I had all that time on my hands, and I really wanted to make something out of it.
So on to our very next question. So what are like the challenges into the whole music industry, and how do you get through those challenges as an artist?
So you say positives and negatives, or just negatives?
Yeah.
Negatives. So positives are probably, I mean, I've only really been in it for a year, so I don't know how much I know, but positives are that, you know, you're around lots of creative and talented people, and I mean, just from doing lots of gigs and open mics, I've met so many amazing musicians, which has been incredible. I think it's a really exciting industry. Things happen quickly and it's just very fast. Some of the negatives, I think, in my experience being an independent artist, is that there's a lot of barriers, not having a manager or not having a label, and so that's tough. And so what I did last year is I felt that people weren't taking me very seriously because I didn't have those things, and so I created my own record label called Amara Records that I could release music under, just to kind of hope that that would help a bit. And I think, you know, some other things that there's lots of competition. It's very tough. You're going to get rejected a lot. I mean, I've been rejected like 10 times even today, and it's just kind of part of it and you have to roll with it. But yeah, I definitely think the positives outweigh the negatives.
Awesome. So on to the very next question. So what's like next for you, like for the rest of 2021, that you'd like to announce on the show?
So I have a new song that's coming out that I'm being featured on May 14th, called This Time, with this amazing artist called Steve Marinangeli. So that's so exciting. I can't wait for that. And I was asked to do the vocals for that track, and then we went into lockdown, so I just couldn't do it. So I was actually recorded in a friend's bedroom who has a studio, and literally by his bed, and so that was recorded in like 4 days. So that's exciting. That's coming on May 14th, and then I'm hoping to play at some festivals this summer, which would be really cool, and just keep performing, releasing music. And my next kind of step is I really want to find a manager, because I think that'll be really helpful.
Yes. So for my very last opinion and thoughts, so with the whole music side to things, like, you have such incredible like vocals and like incredible songs that you've done. Like, if you could perform any other songs or covers, what covers would you want to perform and why?
So some of my favorite covers to perform are Jolene. I'm a huge Dolly Parton fan. I love singing Riptide by Vance Joy. Oh my God, so many covers that I love to sing. Crazy, Dancing in the Moonlight. I'm into country music, so I sometimes sing country songs at gigs. Bit of Taylor Swift, lots of different things.
Awesome. Well, would you like to perform one of your songs on the show, by the way?
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely perform. I can do the one, my most recent one, The Art of Not Falling Apart.
Awesome.
Okay. Got my guitar here. So for anyone that's just joined, this is The Art of Not Falling Apart, the acoustic version. She stumbled into the woods one day and she couldn't get herself out. The trees grew taller, the branches longer, and all she could do was shout. She screamed and screamed till her voice turned black, but no one could hear her cries. Truth is, nobody listened because all she ever told were lies. But the forest, it had a magic plant she used to drink her tears away. She drank it dry till the forest died and she washed up on a bay. The sand was soft and the sun was warm, and she thought she could find a way home. The more she tried, the more she cried, and realized she was all alone. And there's no way out, and you're too far in. Do you want it to end or begin again? Then you think it's gonna stop, you go right back to the start. You don't know where you've been or where you are. It's the art of not falling apart. She craved and craved that forest plant, but it didn't grow on the sand. She grew weaker and started to crumble until she could hardly stand. Take me back to the motherland, she said as she fell to her knees. Looked up to the heavens and prayed to God, oh please. When there's no way out and you're too far in, do you want it to end or begin again? Then you think it's gonna stop, you go right back to the start. You don't know where you've been or where you are. It's the art of not falling. There's a place that she goes that nobody knows, where no one gets to see inside her mind. This place that she goes with all its highs and lows, we'll be sure to find her there another time. When there's no way out and you're too far in, do you want it to end or begin again? When you think it's gonna stop, you go right back to the start. You don't know where you've been or where you are. When there's no way out and you're too far in, do you want it to end or begin again? When you think it's gonna stop, you go right back to the start. You don't know where you've been or where you are. It's the art of not falling, the art of not falling apart.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. So, can I just say, Anne, thank you so much again for making the time to come onto my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to say to people on the show?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I've loved it. It's been so much fun. Final thoughts are, thank you for watching. Do pursue your passion and, yeah, go and listen to my music.